over these last 2 years, last year and now this year again, things are different. The timelines, the deadlines, the actual practical method of dealing with appeals when they're filed and so on has changed. Can you tell us what's going on this year? If I'm filing an appeal, if I'm getting it appealed, what are the deadlines? What are the dates I need to know?
We used to file appeals in the actual tax year. So for example, in 2024, the appeal deadline was March 31st, 2024. So you would file at the beginning of that actual year. What we have now shifted to is a system where we file appeals in advance of a year. So the deadline for 2025 appeals has already passed. It was October 1st, 2024. So we are now filing appeals in advance of that year. The deadline this year has changed again. So the deadline for 2026 appeals is September 1st, 2025. So if you want to challenge your taxes for next year, you have to file an appeal this summer. So definitely a different system than we've had before in Allegheny County. A lot of confusion about it. I've had a lot of property owners reaching out to me to file appeals for this year. Unfortunately, I have to tell them we've missed the window, but already trying to get clients in line for 2026 appeals.
Up until 2 years ago, if you wanted to appeal your current year's taxes now, February, you would still be able to do that. That is no longer the case. If you want to appeal your 2025 property taxes, you can't do it, right? The deadline has passed.
Correct. So for example, I'll have people that are buying houses right now saying, I want to appeal my taxes. And I have to tell them, great, we can appeal for next year, but the taxes that you're going to get for this year, we've already missed the window to do that. The reason that they've changed the deadline is they're trying to deal with all these tax deficits and changing of the tax base in advance of people actually paying the taxes. So this is what I think all the other counties in Pennsylvania do. We're kind of just shifting into being like those other counties. But basically, if I file an appeal this summer for 2026, I would conceivably have a hearing this fall, get my decision before I have paid any 2026 taxes. So the number would presumably be changed to reflect the accurate value before those tax bills are sent out, which will help with all the deficits that the tax bodies are dealing with now for past years. That's the idea anyway, if the system runs perfectly, which as we know, it typically does not.